Savage, who is, by the way, not a music figure. Expect the unexpected in the kingdom of madness. Welcome to another episode of Beat Chatter. It's been way too long.
I'm Kris Caballero.
I'm Riley White Merchant. We do apologize for the hiatus with that we were on.
Yeah.
So we do apologize.
But we're here to talk about music, and let's
We're
back the 3 topics.
So, you know the gist of it. We share 3 topics about music. We share our opinions, and we'll just trade it back for our random-ass humor.
Yeah.
So, shall we get started?
Let's start. So let's start with a little request this is from Samantha. She wanted us to talk about our favorite musical composer. So let's start out as our first topic. So your favorite musical composer.
So, this was actually a request that was about that was like very late in the making. So, Sam, if you're watching this, we hope you like our answers. So, thank you for being patient, by the way. This was actually a bit of an interesting answer to question to think of. Let's talk about Back to the Future. Without the likes of Mr. Alan Silvestri, we wouldn't have such a very highly energetic, very dramatic, highly tympanic soundtrack. He also worked on such films as Forrest Gump, he did Castaway, and very later on he also worked on the Marvel Cinematic Universe with the Avengers, but it still stands. Back to the Future is still one of my favorite soundtracks, and it's all thanks to Mr. Silvestri himself.
So, like you said, a movie couldn't be complete without its soundtrack. Same could be said about video games. So when I was young, I was just like any other kid. I was a big fan of Pokemon. Now, a classmate of mine introduced me to a video game franchise, which is also related to Pokemon, which is also an RPG, Final Fantasy. And the first game he actually got for me as a gift, which was very nice. Thank you, Brian. It was Final Fantasy VIII, which was the first Final Fantasy game I ever played before Final Fantasy VII, which was actually the most popular game in Square Enix history, I should say. And when I found out the composer, his name was Nobuo Uematsu, like Japanese composer known for composing with his orchestra very, very beautiful music soundtracks for video games. And not just Final Fantasy. We're talking about Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, most of their RPG line under Square.
So, having said that, we go to our second question, and this might be something that may trigger some of you guys. So, we're going to be careful to open the floodgates here. Our second question is: do you have a favorite band, musician, artist that's coming from overseas?
Oh yeah, actually, I did make friends with someone from an online forum that specialized in Philippine television, which was great. His name is Jude. He lives in New York. He was the one who introduced me to Korean pop music as early as 2008, 2009. So this was before the craze of Gangnam Style by Psy. So this was before that, and he introduced me to a 9-girl group called Girls' Generation. So yeah, I thought it was great, and there are some popular ones. There's 2NE1. I don't know if you've heard of 2NE1. So yeah, I just love the Korean pop music. I haven't listened to a while, but those are what I got exposed. So what about you?
I mean, I'm not as familiar with the K-pop scene. I mean, like, thanks to the internet, like, it's just a whole fandom within itself. Although I occasionally I have bumped into the likes of 5 Minute with like Hyuna and all of them, so it's just like another mention of Gangnam Style there. She was the girl in the Gangnam Style video, but like their music is actually pretty good, so I like that. I can see where you're getting from that. My particular choice, they're actually from Japan. They're a three-piece group that actually helped revolutionize the sound of electronic music as we know it. And the group I'm talking about is called Yellow Magic Orchestra, a 3-piece duo. One of their members being acclaimed composer Ruichi Sakamoto. But yeah, no, just his work, both in Yellow Magic Orchestra and his solo work. Check it out. Just check the group out. They're really good.
So instead of talking about what we dislike or what we don't like, let's talk about music videos that really spooked you out.
This one was a no-brainer. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to go back to mentioning the most recurring figure in the show again, Mr. Phil Collins. So, of course, yeah, he was the lead singer and drummer of Genesis after Peter Gabriel left back in 1978-79. The music video that came along that haunted me for so many years. And, of course, I am talking about this Land of Confusion. Where do I begin with this? It really did capture, like, the dark energy of 1986 with, Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan and the Cold War. It was just a very dark time politically in the world. So back in the 80s in Britain, there was a show called Spitting Image, and which is where the puppets for the music video were coming from. And just looking at the puppet likenesses of not only Reagan and Thatcher, but like the three members of Genesis, it was enough to haunt me for so many years.
Yeah. But another thing I can't deal with is I'm just gonna say it straight, okay? Rocket by Herbie Hancock. Now I do have a reason with all those robotic mannequins and everything just moving about. And the thing is, he made one small cameo. He was just playing the keyboard in a TV screen, and he just took a shot of the TV screen, and that was it. But I do have a reason for that. So all that video reminded me of a little clip from Sesame Street, and there was no particular title. It was just robots and action figures or anything. And I know it was very trumpet based, but it kind of went. But every time that song played, I couldn't stand it. I didn't cry actually. I was just so freaked out. I'm like, ugh! And I would stay on the side of the TV until that scene actually ended. Then when it cut back to say Big Bird or Snuffleupagus, I thought,
hi, Big Bird.
Okay,
I'm here to haunt your nightmares right now.
So it has ties to that, and that video is actually available. It's actually posted on YouTube. We're going to link it right over here. See if you can stand it. I know a lot of you can, but for me, it had childhood trauma. I was traumatized.
It had Snuffleupagus.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Ooh, boy. So those are our topics for this week. If you're interested in joining in, these are our contact information. Contact us with any of your suggestions.
Follow the SHOWSOTROS YouTube page, which is where the episodes will be coming in.
Yeah, so if you have any comments or any responses to any of our topics, or if you have a topic that you'd like for us to talk about, leave a comment or contact us on any of our social media accounts.
I have an Instagram now, and whoever's watching this, it's your fault for making me create this one. So I love you.
Yes. Yeah, contact us on any of our social media accounts. Leave a comment or give us any suggestions for any musical topics. We will discuss them on a future episode.
Until then, in the words of the Juice Man, you've got to pump up the carrots and the nutrients to get your full blend of vitamins and minerals. See, that's the Juice Man on steroids.
Oh.
Anyways, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you again soon.
Keep on listening to music.